Hello everyone, this is Fine from Awesome Tech Gaming Pro. I hope you all are well. Today I'm going to talk about the newly released RTX 5090, RTX 5080 and RTX 4090 and previous generation AMD Radeon RX 7900 XTX performance benchmark. You see the Last of Us Part 1 1440p benchmark. The RTX 5080 was only able to match the 4080 Super at 1440p, making it 6% slower than the AMD Radeon 7900 XTX. The RTX 5090 as usual very powerful, giving 204 FPS, RTX 4090 159 average FPS. But Jensen Huang Taylor Lack, he said RTX 5070 perform like RTX 4090, but some AI and fake frame generation. But the raw performance, the RTX 4090 is far superior than RTX 5070. Even RTX 5080 can't able to beat RTX 4090. I will say the RTX 5080 is like RTX 4080 Ti. You see, GeForce RTX 4080 Super beat the GeForce RTX 5080 in this game, The Last of Us Part 1. Now, if you see the Star Wars Outlaws, the Star Wars Outlaws results are equally disappointing. At 1440p, the RTX 5080 was just 3% faster than the RTX 4080 Super. They did hold a 16% advantage over the AMD Radeon 7900 XTX. RTX 5090 produced 112 FPS, 30 FPS better than 20 FPS better than RTX 4090, and 4090 is almost 20 FPS better than RTX 5080.
If you are new in my channel, then please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications and upcoming videos. I have another channel named Tech Gaming Villa, where I upload similar kind of tech videos like TV comparison, sound system, home theater. You can check and subscribe.
Another game, the Starfield, the RTX 5080 was just 2% faster than the 4080 Super at 1440p, while trailing the 7900 XTX by 2%, which is very disappointing performance by the newly released RTX 5080. The RTX 5090 also disappointing, just 5 FPS better than RTX 4090 on the Starfield at 1440p. The average game performance on RTX 4090, 5090, 5080, you see RTX 4090 better than RTX 5090 on HD resolution. Although I didn't go over the 1080p numbers in detail, the average data for those interested, essentially GeForce RTX 5080 only managed to match the 4080 Super at this resolution. It seems the Blackwell architecture struggles slightly more than previous generations at lower resolutions, and this isn't always due to a CPU bottleneck. For 1440p, RTX 5090 a bit better, 192, I will say 20% better than RTX 4090. At 1440p, at a mere 4% performance increase for the RTX 5080 over the 4080 Super, just 4% on average or 5% over the 7900 XTX. That said, it is still better than the 2% uplift we saw from the 4080 to the 4080 Super. So perhaps things are improving after all. If you see the power consumption, the good news is that power consumption is quite reasonable, at least based on this 1440p testing. Here the 5080 consumed anywhere from 4% to 19% less power than the 4080 Super and significantly less than the Radeon RX 7900 XTX. The Starfield game ultra resolution 1440p, the RTX 4070 consumes 289 watts, whether RTX 5090 produce 537 watts. On Star Wars games at 1440p, RTX 4070 289 watt, 4070 Super 324 watt, 7900 XT 404 watt, RTX 4090 532 watt, and RTX 5090 massive 624 watt. If you see the ray tracing performance, unfortunately the RTX 5080 doesn't offer anything particularly impressive when it comes to ray tracing, delivering only an 11% increase over the 4080 Super at 1440p in Metro Exodus. However, this did make it nearly 50% faster than the 7900 XTX. As we always say, if you care about ray tracing performance, a GeForce GPU is the way to go. On Metro Exodus Enhanced, the 1440p RTX 5090 produced 248 FPS, which is much better than RTX 4090. RTX 4090 187 FPS. RTX 5080 can't able to beat the RTX 4090. It produces 156 FPS and RTX 4080 Super 140 FPS. The popular game Alan Wake 2, the Metro Exodus results are not an anomaly. In Alan Wake 2 at 1440p, there is very little difference between the 4080 Super and the 5080 in ray tracing performance. The 5090 as performs 105 FPS, RTX 4090 89 FPS, RTX 5080 67 FPS, which is equal to RTX 4080 Super. RTX 5080 again disappointed on Alan Wake 2 on 1440p resolution. On Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty results tell the same story with the 4080 Super and 5080 delivering comparable performance at 1440p, both almost 89 FPS. RTX 5080. That is 5090 129 FPS, RTX 4090 116 FPS. Just 10% better, I will say. On ray tracing, Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, there was no performance difference between the 5080 and the 4080 Super at either 1440p or 4K. With the 4K, with both tested using DLSS quality upscaling, you see on 1440p, RTX 5090 produced 120 FPS, RTX 5080 also 120 FPS, RTX 4090 same, RTX 4080 Super also same. Even RTX 4080 also 127. So they are basically same performance. On Dying Light 2 Stay Human, we saw a 9% uplift in Dying Light 2 at 1440p for the RTX 5080 over the 4080 Super, which surprisingly is one of the better RT gains observed so far. But RTX 5090 performs 166 FPS. On the other hand, RTX 4090 136 FPS on ray tracing 1440p resolution. The most demanding game, Black Myth Wukong, with ray tracing enabled at 1440p using quality DLSS upscaling, Black Myth Wukong averaged just 70 FPS, an 11% improvement over the 4080 Super. The focus results followed the same pattern, making for highly disappointing gains with no CPU bottleneck to blame for these results. RTX 5090 performed 98 FPS, which is much better than the RTX 4090, who gives 72 FPS. RTX 5080 almost similar like RTX 4090 70 FPS and RTX 4080 Super 63 FPS. RTX 4080 61 FPS. So in those games, 6 game average, RTX 5090 average 170 FPS, RTX 4090 148 FPS, RTX 5080 130 FPS, RTX 4080 127 FPS. Just like same, I will say. Very disappointing performance by RTX 5080. The GeForce RTX 5080 and 4080 Super delivered nearly identical performance with ray tracing tuned on at 1080p, making the 5080 nearly 80% faster than the 7900 XTX. And 1440p quality upscaling ray tracing, 5090 produced 138 FPS, RTX 4090 116 FPS, RTX 5080 99, RTX 4080 Super 94, RTX 4080 93 FPS. At 1440p, the 5080 was just 5% faster than the 4080 Super, while Radeon GPUs remained largely irrelevant in this category. So you see the benchmark performance at 1440p. Now you will judge whether you will buy RTX 5080 or RTX 5090, which is a much expensive $2,000 card. So tell your thought about this newly released 5000 series card. Please write in the comments below. That's it from now.